If you've been keeping an eye on Tejas Networks, you probably saw its stock do something, well, pretty wild. We're not talking about a small dip here. We're talking about a sudden, steep nosedive that left a lot of people scratching their heads. So let's get into it and break down exactly what happened here.
So what on earth happened? What could possibly make a company's stock just plummet so fast? This wasn't some market-wide panic. The answer, as we're about to see, was hiding in plain sight, right inside the company's latest financial report. And what a drop it was. We're talking about a 10% loss in value in a single day. You know, for any stock, that is a massive red flag. It's the market's way of screaming that something is seriously, seriously wrong. All right, so the bombshell that set this whole thing off was the company's quarterly results. And when we look at the revenue number, the word disastrous really isn't much of an exaggeration. Let's dig in. The numbers here, they really tell the whole story. Just look at this. Last year, in this exact same quarter, Tejas Networks brought in 642 crore rupees. Pretty solid. This year, that number absolutely cratered to just 37 crore. 37! This isn't a slowdown, folks. It's like someone just turned off the revenue tap completely. To put a percentage on that, because it's a real jaw-dropper, we're looking at an 88% drop in revenue year over year. 88%. If you were looking for the smoking gun that caused the stock crash, well, this number right here is it. And you know where a revenue collapse like that hits hardest, right? Straight to the bottom line. The company didn't just earn less money. No, it swung from making a profit last year to posting a massive loss of 197 crore rupees this quarter. That is a staggering reversal. So we've got an 88% revenue collapse and a huge swing into the red. The big question now is, why? What happened inside the company's operations to cause such a complete breakdown? Let's get behind these numbers.
Well, the company pointed to a few key problems. They said there were delays in shipping and billing for some big projects, but the real elephant in the room was a massive 1,526 crore rupee order from BSNL. That entire order got pushed from this quarter into the next one. That postponement alone explains a huge part of this revenue disaster.
Now this financial snapshot, it tells a really confusing story. On one hand, you see the terrible revenue and loss numbers, but then you see a healthy-looking order book of over 1,300 crore. The problem is the huge disconnect. They have the orders, but they just aren't converting them into actual money. And at the same time, they're sitting on almost 350 crore of net debt.
Okay, so this brings us to how the market actually read all this, because it's never just about one bad quarter, it's about what this one quarter signals for the future. And what it signaled, loud and clear, was a ton of doubt. And if there's one golden rule in investing, it's this. The market absolutely hates uncertainty. It despises it. A bad result that you can predict is often way better than a result that makes the future look like a complete question mark.
So now, investors are looking at a company where they have no clue when these big projects will actually get executed. They're seeing weak cash flow, high debt compared to the money coming in, and just unpredictability. And when investors are faced with that much uncertainty, what do? They sell.
So for anyone watching this story unfold, what's next? What are the green shoots you should be looking for that might signal things are turning around?
Here are the three key things to keep your eyes on. First, execution. Is the company actually making progress on those huge BSNL and BharatNet orders? Second, revenue. Are we going to see a bounce back next quarter? And third, the bottom line. Can they start to shrink that 197 crore loss? Those are the indicators that are going to matter most. The takeaway here is pretty clear. Until the company can provide some real, solid answers and show actual progress on those key metrics, its stock is probably going to stay volatile. The uncertainty that caused the crash in the first place? Yeah, it's still very much in the air. And all of this leads us with the big question, doesn't it? Is this just a temporary setback? A major order that just slipped from one quarter to the next? Or does this failure to execute point to deeper, more systemic problems inside Tejas Networks? The next few quarters are going to tell the real story.